If you just heard asylum interviews are canceled and your stomach dropped, you're not alone, because that one sentence can mess with your sleep, your money plans, and your whole future. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to explain what people really mean when they say canceled, what this new border policy talk in March 2026 could change, and the one simple habit that can protect you from missing a notice. But first, let me ask you this. Did you hear this from a friend, TikTok, or a letter you actually got? Because that detail changes everything, and I'll tell you why in a second. A lot of people are mixing up three different things. An asylum interview that gets rescheduled, an asylum case that gets paused, and a case that gets moved into immigration court. And when you mix those up, it feels like the system is playing games with you, especially if you already paid for medical exams, translations, lawyers, or you took days off work, and you're thinking, how am I supposed to keep doing this? But once you see the difference between canceled today and canceled forever, your stress level changes fast. And that's the key we need to clear up next. So what does interview canceled usually look like in real life? In simple terms, it's often a notice that says your appointment date is no longer valid, and a new date may come later. Or it's an officer telling you the schedule is changing because resources move somewhere else. And yes, that can happen when policies shift, when offices get overloaded, or when priorities change at the border. But here's the scary part. Sometimes people think their interview is canceled when it's actually still on the calendar, and they just didn't check the right place. And that mistake can cost you big, which is what we have to talk about next. Now let's connect this to the title. Asylum interviews canceled, new border policy explained, March 2026. Because the reason this topic is blowing up is simple. When the government adjusts border policy, it can affect staffing and scheduling, and that can ripple into asylum processing. And when processing slows down, the pain hits regular people first, like you, because delays can mean waiting longer for work authorization, waiting longer for decisions, paying rent longer with unstable income, and feeling stuck in maybe for months. But the real question is what you can control right now, and that's what we're going into next. Before we go deeper, here's the open loop I promised. Near the end of this video, I'm going to share the 2-check routine that takes less than 5 minutes a week. And it's one of the easiest ways to avoid missing an interview notice, a biometrics appointment, or a deadline that can mess up your case. And I'll also explain what to do if you already missed something and you're panicking. But first, we need to talk about the biggest confusion: asylum office interview versus immigration court. Because that one mix-up causes most of the fear online, and we're clearing it up next. If your case is with the asylum office, you might be waiting for an interview notice. But if your case is in immigration court, you're dealing with hearings and judges. And when people hear interviews canceled, some of them are actually talking about court hearings being moved, or they're talking about a different process entirely. And that's why you'll see two people online both saying, it's canceled. But one is talking about an interview, and the other is talking about court. And it becomes this messy rumor soup that scares everyone. And the way to calm that down is to focus on your specific case type, which we'll simplify next. Here's a simple everyday example. Think of it like a doctor's office and a courthouse. If your doctor appointment gets moved, you still have the same doctor and the same clinic, just a new date. But if your case gets moved to court, that's like your issue is no longer handled by the clinic. Now it's handled by a judge. Different building, different schedule, different rules, and you can't solve that by just refreshing the clinic calendar. And that's why the first step is not panic. It's identify what system you're in. And I'll show you the simplest way to do that next. And yes, money stress is real here, because every delay has a price tag. You might be paying for Ubers to appointments, paying for childcare, paying for copies, paying for a lawyer consult. And maybe you're sending money to family back home, and then a delay hits and you think, great, now I have to do this again. And the emotional cost is just as heavy, because you start feeling like your life is on hold. But the good news is that most canceled situations still leave you options. And the best option depends on what notice you got, which is what we're talking about next. If you received a cancellation notice, keep it, screenshot it, print it, Save it in two places, because later someone might ask, "Why didn't you show up?" And you want proof you were told not to. And if you did not receive a notice but you heard rumors, don't act like the rumor is a fact, because scammers love this moment. They'll tell you, "Pay me and I'll fix your interview," or "Your interview is canceled, send your A number." And people fall for it when they're scared. So we're going to talk about safe checking next. For safe checking, you want to use official sources, not random DMs. And for full details, I've added the official links in the video description. You can visit those websites and verify the information yourself. And the main ones people usually use are USCIS.gov for asylum office type updates, DHS.gov for broader policy announcements, and CBP.gov for border-related updates. And I'm saying usually because every case is different, but the big idea is this. If it's not an official site or an official letter, treat it like a rumor until you confirm it. And the next step is how to confirm without losing your mind. Also, quick internal link before I forget. I already made a full video on this. You can find it on the end screen or click the I button above. And it goes deeper into common notice problems and what to save in your records. But for this video, we're staying focused on March 2026 policy talk and the interview, Canceled, Panic. Because there's one more thing people ignore, and it's the fastest way to accidentally miss benefits like a work permit timeline, which we'll get into next. One pain point people don't say out loud is this: "I'm scared I'll lose my chance to work legally." Because when your case moves slowly, you're counting days, you're counting rent, you're counting groceries, and you're trying not to break rules. And then you hear interviews are canceled, and it feels like someone just kicked the calendar out from under you. And I can't give legal advice in a YouTube video, but I can tell you the practical reality. Delays can affect planning, so you need a simple system to track your own case, and that system is what we're building next. Part 2. Now let's talk about the new border policy explained, March 2026, part of the title in a simple way, because even when the government changes something at the border, the message that reaches people is often broken into scary headlines. And the truth is, policy shifts can mean staffing shifts, priority shift, and paperwork flow shifts. And that can lead to more reschedules, more waiting, and more confusion. But instead of guessing, I want you to watch for a few specific signs that usually show up when a real change is happening. And we're starting with the first sign next. The first sign is when lots of people in different cities start reporting the same type of reschedule around the same time. Because one random person getting moved can be normal, but patterns across places can signal a bigger shift. And when that happens, you might see slower appointment scheduling, faster movement in certain categories, or changes in how notices are sent. And that's when emotions go wild online. But your goal is to stay calm and stay organized, because organization beats panic every time. And the easiest organization move is coming next. Here's the 2-check routine I promised, and it's boring, but boring saves cases. Once a week, check 2 things: your mailing address status with the system you're in, and your online case or appointment info if you have access, because most disasters start with missed mail, and missed mail often starts with a move, a roommate throwing out letters, or someone writing the address wrong. And when you fix that one weak point, you stop a lot of problems before they start. And the next thing you should do right after that is even simpler. Right after you do those 2 checks, keep a tiny case diary. Just a note on your phone with dates like address updated, notice received, call made, appointment moved. Because when you're stressed, your memory lies to you. You'll think something happened last week when it was actually 3 months ago. And if you ever need to explain a timeline, a simple diary is gold. And it also helps you spot when something is truly unusual versus just slow. And now we need to talk about what canceled could mean in the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario talk doesn't mean doom. It means being prepared. So yes, sometimes canceled can mean your interview slot is removed and you wait for a new one with no clear date. And that can feel like you're trapped because you can't plan travel, you can't plan school, you can't plan work, and your family keeps asking, "Any update?" And you're tired of saying, "I don't know." But even in that situation, you can still do smart things that reduce damage. And the first smart thing is next. The first smart thing is Don't disappear. Keep your contact info updated and keep your documents ready, because when a system speeds up again, people who are ready move faster, and people who are not ready end up scrambling. And scrambling leads to mistakes like missing deadlines, bringing the wrong papers, or trusting the wrong person. And mistakes can turn a delay into a real problem. So the real question becomes, what should I have ready while I wait? And that's what we're getting into next. While you wait, think of it like preparing for a job interview. You don't know the exact day, but you can still prepare your story and your documents. So keep your identity documents, your addresses, your key dates, and any important records organized in one folder. And if your documents are in another language, plan ahead for translations so you're not rushing last minute. And again, I'm not your lawyer. I'm just helping you think clearly, because clear thinking is the only way to beat this stress. And the next part is about avoiding the biggest trap. The biggest trap is listening to confident strangers online who speak like they're 100% sure, because this area changes, and even well-meaning people can be wrong. And when you follow bad advice, you might accidentally miss an appointment, send the wrong form, or pay someone who can't help you. So here's a simple rule. If someone says, everyone's interviews are canceled, ask them, based on what official notice or what official website? And if they can't answer, you have your answer. And the next thing you should do is protect your time and money. Protecting your time and money can be as simple as not paying for repeat things too early. Like if you're about to spend money on travel for an interview date, confirm the date first. And if you already bought tickets and then you got canceled, keep receipts and keep the notice, because you may need proof for work or for your own records. And I know that sounds small, but small paperwork is the difference between I can prove it and I swear it happened. And that's why we're now talking about what to do if you miss something. If you missed an interview or you think you missed a notice, don't freeze. Freezing is what makes it worse. Gather what you have, check your official status, and if you have a representative, contact them fast. And if you don't, consider getting a real, qualified legal consult, because missing something doesn't always mean the end, but waiting too long to respond can make it harder. And I'm saying this gently because I know people feel ashamed when they miss mail, but it happens. And what matters is what you do next. Now, quick friendly check-in. Which city are you watching from? Comment below. Because rules and timelines can feel different depending on where you live, and it helps everyone to see patterns in the comments. And if this video helped calm your nerves even a little, hit the like button so more people can find it without getting trapped in rumor videos. And for clear and simple updates, subscribe to the channel. And in the next video, I'm going to cover the one notice wording people misread all the time. And that's where the real surprise is.